In the previous video we did mixed examples of laws 1 to 4 of exponents. This one is on squares, square roots, cubes and cube roots of algebraic expressions. One of the biggest rules that you need to know is when you're dividing, when you're taking the square root of something with a power, you divide the exponent by 2. When you're taking the cube root of something with a power, you divide the power by 3. Alright, roots can't be split over plus and minus, but they can be split over multiply and divide. Okay, so for example, taking the square of 4x to the power 6, we give the power to the 4 and to the 6. That's 4 squared, and then we multiply the exponents as with law 3 and 4. That gives us 16x to the power 12. Okay, there's an invisible multiply here, so we can split the root up over the 4 and over the x to the power 6. That gives us 2, and we divide the exponent by 2 as per our rule. That's going to give us 2x to the power 3. Alright, then let's look at taking the cube of 8x to the power 6. That's going to give us 8 to the power 3 and x to the power 6 times 3, because we're distributing there and there. And you don't need to know this out of your head. You can type it into the calculator. It should give you 512. And multiply 6 with 3. That's x to the power 18. Right. There's again an invisible multiply there, so we can split it up over the 8 and over the x to the power 6. The cube root of 8 is not 8 divided by 3, it's the cube root of 8, which is 2. You can use your calculator to find that out. And we're going to divide the exponent by 3 as per our rule. That gives us 2x squared. Alright, then we're going to take this one. Let's have a look. This is over a plus, so we can't break the square root up. Remember, square roots act like invisible brackets, right? We can only break it up over special cases. So this is the square root of 4 plus 12 is 16, a to the power 4. We're adding the like terms there. Now we can split it up. The square root of 16 and the square root of a to the power 4. The square root of 16 is not 16 divided by 2. It's the square root of 16, which is 4. And divide the exponent by 2. So that gives us 4x squared. Alright. And this one here, we are going to have to complete what's under the square root first, or under the cube root first. So we're going to raise this to power 2, give it there and there. That's going to give us 16x to the power 6. Okay, I'm going to put that in brackets to make it clear that I'm multiplying here and here. And then 2x to the power 9 times plus 2x to the power 9 is 4x to the power 9. And I'm going to close that bracket. And all of this is still under the cube root, like that. Alright, now we have 16 times 4, which should give you 64. And add these exponents. 6 plus 9 should give you 15. So do you see how important it is to know your exponential laws for algebra? Alright, this is over and multiply, so we can split it up. The cube root of 64 and the cube root of x to the power 15. And no, you don't need this step. You don't need this step, but it does help for the boys who are still struggling. The cube root of 64 is 4, and we're going to divide this by 3. That's going to give us 4x to the power 5. Alright, let's look at one last one, something like this. Again, you can split it over the numerator and denominator. You can split it up, but we usually want to simplify under the root first. Alright, so we're going to group the 108 and the 4 together. That's going to give us 27. Okay, so that's cube root of 27. Between the x's, the top one is bigger by 6. Between the y's, the top one is bigger by 3. Okay, so we simplified under the root first. Then we split it up over the 27, over the x to the power 6, and over the y to the power 3. That's going to give me 3x, and then divide the exponent by 3 and divide the exponent by 3. Again, you don't need this step or that step. You can skip directly to this one. That gives you 3x squared y to the power invisible 1. Alright, but if you write the 1, that's not wrong. To practice this, you're going to practice exercise 11 on page 92.